Welcome to the Ikigai audiobook, Discovering Your Life's Purpose. In this chapter, you'll uncover the secret behind why some people live longer, healthier, and more meaningful lives. We'll explore how the concept of Ikigai, your reason for being, shapes daily routines, relationships, and choices. By the end, you'll see that true fulfillment isn't just about success or comfort. It's about aligning what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what sustains you, so every day feels purposeful and alive. Section 1. The word that holds a world. When we first encounter the word Ikigai, it feels delicate, almost like a secret. 4 soft syllables. Ikigai. At a glance, it looks like just another foreign word that can be translated and tucked neatly into English dictionaries. But this word resists translation. There is no single equivalent. Happiness? Too shallow. Purpose, too narrow. Reason for being, closer but still incomplete. Ikigai is more like a tapestry. It is the thread that ties our mornings to our evenings, our work to our leisure, our talents to our responsibilities. It is the steady current of meaning that makes life worth living. Imagine the spark that makes you rise from bed, not because you must, but because you want to. Imagine the sense of wholeness that comes from knowing your life matters. That is Ikigai. The Japanese have understood this for centuries. The concept appears in their folklore, in poetry, even in casual conversation. To speak of one's Ikigai is to speak of the joy and meaning found in living itself. It is not always grand or dramatic. Sometimes Ikigai is as simple as a morning walk, a shared meal, or the satisfaction of working with your hands. It can be raising a child, caring for a garden, or practicing a craft passed down through generations. The authors of this book invite us to travel with them to Okinawa, a lush island in southern Japan. At first sight, Okinawa looks like paradise. Turquoise waters, white beaches, a warm breeze through the palms. But it is not the scenery that brings researchers here. It is the people. Okinawa is home to one of the highest concentrations of centenarians, men and women who live not only long, but well. They remain vibrant, active, and joyful deep into their 80s, 90s, and beyond 100. Consider this. While much of the modern world equates aging with decline, Okinawan elders redefine it. They tend gardens well into their 90s, bending easily to harvest vegetables. They gather each afternoon to sing, laugh, and dance. Some practice martial arts in their 80s. Others set out to sea at dawn, casting nets with steady hands. These are not people waiting for the end. These are people living fully until the very last moment. What keeps them going? Researchers have asked this question again and again. The answers are surprisingly humble. A farmer points to his crops. A grandmother speaks of cooking for her grandchildren. A fisherman describes the joy of seeing the sunrise on the water. A craftswoman beams as she weaves cloth, her hands moving with the rhythm of decades. The answers are different, but they echo with the same truth. Each person has a reason to wake up in the morning. Each person has Ikigai. This is where Okinawa teaches us something profound. In many parts of the world, we chase after success, wealth, and recognition. We push ourselves harder, collect possessions, and tell ourselves that one day, when we finally achieve enough, we will be happy. Yet many who follow this path arrive at the top feeling hollow. They have money but no meaning, comfort but no joy, security but no spark. Ikigai flips this story upside down. It tells us that meaning is not waiting at the end of the race. It is here, in the small things we already do. It is in the work that challenges us just enough, in the relationships that warm our hearts, in the activities that make us lose track of time. Think of Ikigai as the intersection of 4 circles. One circle is what you love, another is what you are good at, a third is what the world needs, and the fourth is what you can be paid for. Where they overlap lies the sweet spot, your Ikigai. Some people discover it in their careers, others find it in hobbies, service, or family life, and some find it in a blend of all these. But here is the liberating truth. You don't need to be rich, famous, or powerful to have Ikigai. In fact, those things often distract from it. Ikigai thrives in simplicity. It shows up in daily rituals that others overlook. Drinking tea with a neighbor, tending a bonsai tree, playing a traditional instrument. These quiet acts, repeated with love and intention, become life's fuel. And here is where Ikigai challenges the Western idea of retirement. In many countries, retirement is the finish line. You work, you save, you endure until the day you can stop. But in Okinawa, there is no word for retirement in the way we understand it. This first lesson of Ikigai is powerful. Life is not about escaping work or chasing endless comfort. Life is about having something, big or small, that makes you eager to greet the day. When you have Ikigai, you are not simply surviving. You are alive. So as we step into this book, pause and reflect. What stirs your soul? What activities make hours feel like minutes? What people, passions, or projects bring you joy? Within those answers lies your Ikigai, the word that holds a world. Section 2. The Village of Long Life. Imagine a place where time seems to move differently. Streets are quiet, lined with low houses with tiled roofs, and the air carries the scent of salt and flowers. In small gardens, elders kneel in the soil, planting and harvesting, their hands steady despite the decades behind them. Children laugh in the distance, weaving through the narrow paths, while neighbors greet each other with a bow or a gentle wave. This is Okinawa, a Japanese island famous not for its beaches, but for its people. People who live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly than almost anywhere else on Earth. Researchers have long wondered what contributes to this extraordinary longevity. The answer, it turns out, is not simply genetics. Yes, Okinawans carry certain hereditary advantages, but the real secret lies in lifestyle, in strong social bonds, and in a culture that celebrates purpose. Here, life is not measured by the hours spent working or the wealth accumulated, but by the connections made, the care given, and the joy found in everyday routines. Each day is purposeful, each task meaningful, each moment valued. Walk into a community center in Okinawa on any afternoon, and you might find a group of elders practicing Tai Chi. Their movements are slow, deliberate, almost like a dance with the wind. Outside, others tend bonsai trees, trimming each branch with care and precision, their eyes attentive yet serene. Small clusters of elders gather in shaded courtyards, playing traditional games, sharing stories, and laughing in a language that seems to smooth over the wrinkles of age. Their faces show lines, yes, but those lines are not of sorrow. They are of lives fully lived, of joy and purpose embedded in each gesture. Food in Okinawa is a story in itself, integral to both longevity and lifestyle. The Okinawan diet is simple, natural, and nutrient-rich. Sweet potatoes, green leafy vegetables, tofu, fish, and small portions of meat. Meals are shared with family and friends, eaten slowly, savored, and appreciated. There is a saying, hara hachi bu, eat until you are 80% full. This philosophy, ingrained in daily life, teaches moderation, respect for the body, and the wisdom of restraint. Eating is not about indulgence, but about sustaining energy and balance, supporting both body and mind. But it is not just diet or exercise that makes Okinawans extraordinary. It is the sense of belonging, the tight-knit community that sustains them. Neighbors look out for each other, helping with chores, sharing advice, celebrating milestones together. There is no isolation, no silent struggle. Life is communal. Elders are not forgotten or sidelined. They remain active participants, mentors, storytellers, and guides. Their lives continue to matter because they are woven into a network of care, responsibility, and affection. Researchers have also noted another remarkable trait. Okinawans maintain a curious, positive outlook well into old age. They smile easily, joke freely, and face challenges with resilience rather than despair. Illness, setbacks, and loss are accepted as part of life, not reasons to retreat. Elders cultivate hobbies, learn new skills, and continue to contribute to families and communities. Each day is purposeful. Each activity, no matter how small, carries meaning. That sense of purpose, researchers suggest, is a vital ingredient in longevity. The island itself encourages this lifestyle. Mountains, gardens, and quiet coastlines provide spaces for reflection, movement, and calm. The pace of life is measured, not frantic. Even the architecture, low buildings, open courtyards, shaded pathways, supports a life lived in harmony with nature and neighbors. There is no rush, no pressure to conform. Every day offers an opportunity to engage intentionally, to nurture one's Ikigai, and to invest in life's small pleasures. Okinawa teaches a profound lesson. Longevity is not simply a matter of biology. It is cultivated through community, purpose, moderation, and mindfulness. Life here is woven with rituals, connections, and small joys, creating a network of meaning that sustains people far beyond expected limits. The elders of Okinawa show that a long life is not only counted in years, it is measured in fulfillment, relationships, in the quiet satisfaction of living according to one's Ikigai. As you imagine walking through these streets, seeing the gardens, joining in the laughter, consider your own life. What small routines, daily practices, or social bonds could you nurture to bring more meaning and longevity into your days? How could you create a life that not only lasts longer, but feels richer, fuller, and deeply connected? Okinawa shows us that it is possible. The secret is not hidden. It is woven into everyday life, waiting to be discovered and embraced. Section 3. The Four Circles of Ikigai. Imagine life as a canvas, with colors and shapes representing your passions, talents, responsibilities, and contributions. In Okinawa and in the philosophy of Ikigai, this canvas is mapped into four overlapping circles. Each circle represents an essential part of life, and where they intersect lies the core of what makes life meaningful. Understanding this framework is like finding a compass that points you toward purpose, fulfillment, and resilience. The first circle is what you love. These are the activities, people, and experiences that light a fire in your heart. For some, it is painting, writing, or creating music. For others, it is caring for family, cooking, or gardening. This circle represents the purest form of joy, what you would do even if no one watched or rewarded you. Without this passion, life can feel hollow, no matter how many comforts surround you. The second circle is what you are good at. Everyone has skills, abilities, and talents that can contribute to the world. Some are obvious. Teachers inspire students, artisans craft objects of beauty, cooks delight with their meals. Others are more subtle, listening deeply, solving problems, noticing the small details others overlook. Recognizing your strengths allows you to direct your energy toward tasks that bring both satisfaction and competence. Working in alignment with your abilities prevents frustration and wasted effort. The third circle is what the world needs. Purpose is never only personal, it extends outward. Helping others, contributing to your community, supporting causes larger than yourself. These are ways your actions ripple beyond your own life. In Okinawa, elders continue to contribute long after typical retirement age, whether through mentoring, volunteering, or simply maintaining social connections. Life gains meaning when we know that what we do matters, even in small ways, to those around us. The fourth circle is what you can be paid for. This does not mean you must chase wealth, but it does acknowledge the practical side of life. Aligning your work with some form of reward, financial, social, or otherwise, ensures sustainability. If you can combine this circle with the others, your life becomes both purposeful and sustainable. You are not only fulfilled, but also able to continue contributing without being drained by constant struggle or scarcity. Now imagine these four circles overlapping like a Venn diagram. Where they intersect, you find your Ikigai. It is the sweet spot where passion, talent, contribution, and sustainability come together. It is not a fleeting feeling. It is a continuous thread that weaves through your daily life. Some find it in a lifelong career, others in volunteer work or hobbies, and some in a blend of all these pursuits. The shape and size of your Ikigai are unique. Just like your fingerprints, it is yours alone. Stories from Okinawa illustrate this vividly. A former school teacher continues to mentor neighborhood children after retiring, using her knowledge and experience to enrich the community. A craftsman still carves wooden objects, both for income and for the joy of creating. A grandmother maintains her vegetable garden not just to feed her family, but because tending plants keeps her mind sharp, her body active, and her spirit fulfilled. In each case, work, passion, and contribution are inseparable. The power of Ikigai lies not only in finding the intersection of these circles, but also in returning to them daily. It is not a one-time discovery. It is a process of engagement, reflection, and adaptation. Life evolves, skills grow, passions shift, and needs change. By remaining attentive to your circles, you keep your Ikigai alive, relevant, and energizing. Understanding the four circles helps explain why Okinawans remain active, joyful, and resilient into old age. They know what they love, they cultivate their abilities, they serve their communities, and they sustain themselves. Life is not a passive existence. It is a continual alignment with what matters most. This framework gives shape to daily decisions, guiding people to prioritize what is meaningful rather than what is convenient or expected. As you reflect on your own life, consider each circle carefully. What do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need from you? How can your actions be sustainable? Within these questions lies the map to your Ikigai, a guide for purpose, happiness, and longevity. By exploring each circle and seeking their intersection, you begin to craft a life that is not only long, but rich with meaning and fulfillment. Section 4. Why retirement doesn't exist. In much of the Western world, retirement is often viewed as a final destination, a finish line marking the end of work, responsibility, and purpose. You work for decades, accumulate savings, and finally, at a prescribed age, you are allowed to stop. Life is measured by what comes before retirement, and what happens afterward is often framed as leisure, rest, or recreation. But in Okinawa and in the philosophy of Ikigai, this idea is foreign. Retirement, as we know it, does not exist. Why? Because life itself is intertwined with purpose. Work, hobbies, social, and daily routines are not separate from living. They are living. Okinawan elders do not wait for permission to stop. They do not set aside time for fun because life is only meaningful outside work. Their days are filled with activity, contribution, and engagement, long after conventional retirement age. There is no point at which life ceases to be valuable or productive. Consider Hiroko, a woman in her late 80s who has lived in Okinawa all her life. She was a school teacher for 40 years, but even after retiring, her days remain structured and purposeful. She organizes local reading circles for children, teaches traditional Okinawan crafts, and tends her garden with meticulous care. When asked why she continues, she simply smiles and says, "I cannot stop learning. I cannot stop helping." Life is too short to stop living. Hiroko embodies the idea that meaningful engagement is not a stage of life. It is a way of life. In Okinawa, the line between work and leisure blurs. Many elders continue professional or semi-professional activities, not for income alone, but because these activities sustain their sense of self and connection to the community. A fisherman may no longer need to sell his catch, but he still rises at dawn to cast his nets, guided by rhythm, tradition, and joy. A potter may no longer rely on sales for income, yet continues to shape clay, deriving satisfaction from creativity itself. This continuous engagement is not limited to productive work in the conventional sense. Social participation, volunteering, mentoring, and caregiving all count as meaningful contributions. Elders feel needed, valued, and useful. They are not sidelined by society. They remain integral members of their communities. In Okinawa, the wisdom of age is respected, and elders continue to play vital roles in shaping both cultural and family life. Another crucial factor is rhythm and routine. Okinawans structure their days intentionally. Morning walks, gardening, community gatherings, shared meals, and light exercise are habitual, yet they are infused with meaning. Activity is not imposed. It is chosen, encouraged, and joyful. These habits strengthen the body, calm the mind, and reinforce a sense of purpose. In this way, each day feels full, not empty. Each action matters. The Okinawan perspective also shifts the relationship with time. Aging is not a decline. It is a stage in an ongoing journey. Elders do not count years as limits. They count them as opportunities. Each day offers chances to engage, contribute, learn, and connect. Retirement is unnecessary because the concept of ceasing purposeful activity is foreign. Life itself, imbued with Ikigai, is perpetual engagement. Psychologically, this approach has profound effects. When people stop pursuing meaning, they often experience emptiness, depression, or a sense of futility. Okinawan elders, however, maintain mental acuity and emotional resilience well into their 90s. Purposeful activity stimulates the mind, strengthens social bonds, and reinforces identity. The absence of forced retirement protects them from the stagnation that can erode vitality. Even the island itself encourages continued engagement. Walking paths, gardens, and communal spaces are designed for socialization and activity. Opportunities for teaching, mentoring, volunteering, and learning are abundant. Life is interwoven with movement and meaning, and there is no arbitrary age when participation must end. The lesson is clear. Retirement is not a prerequisite for rest or joy, nor is it a boundary for meaningful living. Life does not end when work stops. It continues as long as you have purpose. The elders of Okinawa show us that the secret to longevity, fulfillment, and resilience lies in perpetual engagement, in weaving work, passion, and contribution into every day. Their lives remind us that Ikigai is not about age. It is about alignment, meaning, and the refusal to stop participating in the life that surrounds us. As you reflect on your own life, consider this question. If retirement were optional, how would you structure your days to ensure purpose, joy, and contribution remain central? What activities could you continue, not for obligation, but for the simple pleasure of being alive? Okinawa demonstrates that the answer lies in living fully, every day, without a finish line. Section 5. Small Joys, Big Meaning. In Okinawa and in the philosophy of Ikigai, meaning is rarely found in grand gestures or dramatic achievements. Instead, it is woven into small, everyday moments that are often overlooked in modern life. A smile exchanged with a neighbor, the taste of a perfectly brewed cup of tea, the rhythm of hands in the soil. These seemingly ordinary experiences accumulate into a life that is rich, joyful, and purposeful. Take the example of tending a garden. On its surface, it is a simple task: planting seeds, watering, weeding, harvesting. Yet for Okinawan elders, gardening is much more than a chore. It is a connection to nature, to the cycle of life, and to generations past. Every leaf trimmed, every root unearthed, and every fruit harvested carries with it a sense of satisfaction and a contribution to family and community. Gardening embodies patience, mindfulness, and care, qualities that sustain both body and spirit. Shared meals also play a vital role. The act of preparing and eating food is never rushed. Ingredients are fresh, often sourced locally, and meals are savored slowly. There is a saying, eating is not just for the body, but for the soul. Conversations are shared across the table, laughter is abundant, and bonds are strengthened with each bite. These communal moments are far more than sustenance. They are social glue, reinforcing connection, empathy, and belonging. Joy is cultivated through hobbies and creative expression as well. Elders engage in music, dance, calligraphy, weaving, and crafts. These activities stimulate the mind, develop skill, and provide tangible satisfaction. They offer a sense of accomplishment and mastery that contributes to self-worth. Even simple routines, when performed with intention, become sources of pleasure and pride. Physical movement, too, is a form of small joy with enormous impact. Walking, stretching, martial arts, and Tai Chi are integrated seamlessly into daily life. These movements are not punishment or obligation. They are invitations to celebrate the body and its capabilities. By moving mindfully, elders maintain strength, flexibility, and balance, which supports both independence and confidence. Physical health and mental well-being are thus intertwined, each reinforcing the other. Another source of meaning comes from helping others. Whether mentoring younger generations, volunteering, or performing acts of kindness, elders gain purpose through contribution. Small gestures, offering advice, sharing a story, assisting with chores, create ripples of positivity that return to them in friendship, gratitude, and social cohesion. Every action, no matter how modest, carries weight when performed with intention and love. The key principle is consistency. Small acts performed daily compound over time, creating a profound cumulative effect. A single cup of tea, a brief walk, or a moment of reflection may seem inconsequential alone, but practiced habitually. These actions shape character, mood, and longevity. The compounding nature of small joys mirrors the way Ikigai itself grows, incrementally, persistently, and silently, yet powerfully. Even the island's environment encourages these habits. Narrow streets, community gardens, and local markets create opportunities for interaction, movement, and engagement. Life is structured to make participation easy and rewarding. The elders' days are not dictated by external pressure, but by rhythm, curiosity, and choice. Every morning presents an opportunity to engage fully with life, no matter how ordinary the activity may appear. The lesson is simple yet profound. Meaning is not always found in monumental achievements. It resides in small, intentional actions that nurture the body, mind, and soul. Joy is discovered not by chasing extraordinary experiences, but by embracing the ordinary with attention, care, and gratitude. The accumulation of these small joys creates a life that is not only longer, but richer, fuller, and more deeply satisfying. Reflect on your own life. Which daily routines, minor pleasures, or acts of service could you approach with more mindfulness and intention? How can ordinary moments become extraordinary through attention and love? In Okinawa, elders demonstrate that small joys, when multiplied over a lifetime, become the foundation of meaning, happiness, and a life truly worth living. Section 6. Living with Purpose. Every day, living with purpose is not a one-time decision or an occasional reflection. It is a daily practice. In Okinawa, the elders demonstrate this consistently, waking each morning with intention, curiosity, and commitment. Purpose is embedded in every action, from the simplest chores to the most cherished routines. Life is not a series of tasks to complete, but a canvas to fill with meaning and engagement. Each day begins with mindful attention. A walk along the quiet streets, the gentle hum of the ocean, or the rustle of leaves in the garden is experienced fully, not rushed or ignored. Elders notice the small details, the pattern of sunlight through a window, the fragrance of a flower, the texture of soil beneath their hands. These seemingly ordinary moments are infused with awareness, turning everyday life into a practice of presence. Purpose also guides interactions. Conversations with neighbors, family members, and friends are meaningful. Listening, sharing stories, offering advice, and exchanging laughter are all deliberate acts of connection. In Okinawa, relationships are not background noise. They are central to living a purposeful life. Elders engage with their communities, offering wisdom and support, while simultaneously receiving love and recognition in return. Purpose is therefore reciprocal. It thrives when giving and receiving are in balance. Daily routines reinforce this sense of purpose. Exercise, gardening, cooking, crafting, and learning are not obligations. They are opportunities to nurture mind, body, and soul. Each activity, though modest, contributes to well-being and vitality. By maintaining these routines, elders preserve their independence, sharpen their minds, and sustain emotional balance. The deliberate rhythm of life supports both physical and psychological health, creating a cycle of energy and fulfillment. Work and contribution continue well into advanced age. Elders remain engaged in professional, creative, or volunteer activities, not out of necessity, but because these actions reinforce identity and meaning. A retired teacher mentoring children, a craftsman shaping clay, or a grandmother preparing a communal meal exemplify how purpose drives action. Each contribution, no matter how small, affirms their value and strengthens the social fabric around them. Reflection is another cornerstone of purposeful living. Okinawan elders regularly pause to consider the day, their actions, and their impact on others. They evaluate not in judgment, but in mindfulness, acknowledging successes, embracing lessons from setbacks, and cultivating gratitude. These reflective moments deepen understanding of self and reinforce alignment with Ikigai. Purpose in this sense is both active and contemplative. It requires doing and thinking, acting and understanding. Living with purpose also involves adaptability. Life changes, bodies age, and circumstances shift. Yet the elders adjust their activities to remain engaged. A physically demanding task may be replaced by a gentler form of contribution. A once intensive hobby may evolve into mentoring or teaching. Purpose is flexible, resilient, and responsive. It does not vanish with age, it transforms. The cumulative effect of these practices is profound. Elders in Okinawa are not simply surviving, they are thriving. Their days are structured yet fluid, meaningful yet simple, active yet calm. They embody the principle that a life well lived is measured not only in years, but in engagement, contribution, and daily fulfillment. Purpose shapes the rhythm of their lives and sustains them physically, emotionally, and spiritually. As you reflect on your own life, consider how you can live with purpose each day. What actions, routines, or contributions could you integrate to make your daily life more meaningful? How can mindfulness, connection, and intention guide your choices? The elders of Okinawa teach us that living with purpose is not reserved for a particular age or stage. It is available every morning, in every moment, for anyone willing to embrace it. Living with purpose every day is the essence of Ikigai. It is the invisible thread connecting your passions, your skills, your contributions, and your values. By practicing it consistently, life transforms from a series of passing hours into a rich, interconnected experience. A life fully alive, fully engaged, and fully meaningful. That wraps up discovering your life's purpose. We've explored how Ikigai gives meaning to daily life, showing us that longevity, joy, and fulfillment come from small intentional actions, community, and continued engagement. Next, we'll move into the art of longevity. Here we'll uncover the daily habits, mindset, and environment that help people live not just longer, but better, and how you can start integrating these practices into your own life. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss this essential next step.